Hey, what's up everyone? Zach D Productions here, and I am here with the TheItalianStallion51, aka Fabio. So in this video, we are going to discuss a current controversy surrounding an individual. And this individual is someone who I am actually a fan of as an actor and as a martial artist, and that individual is Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I do like a lot of his movies, like of course Hard Target, Kickboxer, Bloodsport, Universal Soldier, the list goes on of course. But obviously I'm not a fan of everything that he's done. There's one movie called Black Water, I think it's called, and I wasn't really a big fan of that film, to be honest. I found that film very underwhelming, but a lot of the stuff I have seen from Jean-Claude Van Damme I really do like. My favorite would either be Kickboxer or Hard Target. It's either one of those two movies that would be my favorite Van Damme movie, but Bloodsport's also a very good one, so there's that. But unfortunately, there's been some controversy surrounding Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I'm not really sure why, but I guess people are accusing him of being a trafficker now. I'm not really sure what that's all about. I don't know why I feel like that this is just something that certain people are just pulling out of their rear ends and just running with it. I don't know if somebody misunderstood something or somebody was mistaken or what have you. I'm not really sure what the case is. And of course, like the saying goes, innocent until proven guilty. And that's the bottom line here, innocent until proven guilty. But you know, with a lot of SJWs and people that just like to pull these witch hunts and stuff, their mentality is guilty until proven innocent. And in a lot of cases, they'll never be innocent, at least in their eyes. That's just the way that it goes, unfortunately. But what do I think of this? Do I think that Jean-Claude Van Damme is guilty? In my opinion, no. This just seems very far-fetched to me. Like, I don't think that he's a trafficker or anything. Like I said, I think it's one of those cases where somebody might be mistaken or somebody might have understood something, or it might be one of those cases where it is a witch hunt because Van Damme said something that, you know, triggered certain people because, you know, how a lot of people are today. They don't like the truth being told to them or whatever because, you know, God forbid you have normal thoughts in the year 2025, you know? And this is what people will do, unfortunately. There's some people that will go after you and make claims about you that are not exactly true just because of what you believe and what your stances are and stuff like that. That's the world that we live in today, unfortunately. And that's kind of my take on it. I don't think that Jean-Claude Van Damme is guilty. I don't believe so. Now, before we move on to Fabio, aka the TheItalianStallion51, there is one other thing that I did briefly want to bring up. Just when it comes to the concept of making false allegations and stuff like that. People need to be very careful when they do this. But unfortunately, there's some sick, twisted, evil people out there in the world that will make false allegations just to try to ruin someone's rep. And in my opinion, I think that when it comes to legal consequences for making false accusations, I think the punishments need to be way, way harsher. Because I think that that is one of the most evil things that a person can do, make false allegations. And it's not like, especially in cases like this, it's not like, you know, you're accusing someone of spilling milk. You know, I'm talking more serious stuff, like accusing someone of trafficking or something alike. Unless you have proof, shut up. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much my take on it. You know, you should not make false allegations if you know darn well that it ain't true. So at the end of the day, I don't think that Jean-Claude Van Damme is guilty. I don't think that he's a trafficker or anything. But like I said, at the end of the day, innocent until proven guilty. So anyhow, that's all for my take on this. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Now on to the Italian Stallion 51. Take care.
Hello everyone, I'm back here on Zach's channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Fabio, aka TheItalianStallion51, and once again Zach asked me to join him for a little bit of a discussion of a video about some unfortunate news that has occurred lately. The action film star, I don't know what is going on with the, sorry, anyway, I think I need to replace the battery on the microphone because it looks like the light's going out. Anyway, sorry, my bad, squirrel moment. But Jean-Claude Van Damme has popped up in the news, and not in a good way. Apparently, I don't know what is true. I don't know what is not true. There's not really a lot of information out there either, but apparently he is involved in some sex trafficking shenanigans that have been going on. Apparently he was quote-unquote gifted women at I think in Romania or somewhere around there, and he was busted for potential sex trafficking. And that's pretty much all the information that's out there. I don't know what is true and what is not true. I was not there. But it's very strange. It's very odd. You know, there's a lot of rumors and innuendo and stuff going around that he knew about it and he didn't know about it and all sorts of stuff. Again, I do not know what is true. It could potentially be a setup, maybe, possibly, I don't know, but there's just some strange things that are going on around this and involved with this and certain things, but very weird. Very weird if I do say so myself. Now, the other thing that's weird is because of the culture that we live in, because of the climate that we live in, because of the times that we live in, the word sex trafficking has taken a whole new meaning. People, I don't think, really understand what that truly means. Sex trafficking is you are forcing women to do sexual acts and, you know, send them places for that purpose and have them be prostitutes and stuff. So if you engage in this activity, if you go and visit a prostitute, that doesn't mean you're sex trafficking. You don't know what's going on. You think that it's all legit or whatever. That doesn't mean that you're a sex trafficker. The person that is behind that, yes, but if you go to see a prostitute, which in this country it is only legal in one state, it's only legal in Nevada. I know it's the world's oldest profession and everything, but, you know, let's not kid ourselves here. Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to get involved with that? The answer would be no, if you have a brain in your head. But if you go to a place and you don't know what's going on and that doesn't make you a sex trafficker. You just get put in this unfortunate situation. You know, if you do that here, if you go here, just for example, and you pay a woman money to have sex with her, that doesn't mean you're a sex trafficker. It means you paid to get your dick sucked, to put it, you know, blunt, or whatever. So those two words have a different kind of meaning because, again, this is the world that we live in. It's very strange times, and not for the reasons that people may think. It's for the other reasons. So there you go. But again, I don't know what's going on. I was not there. I'm sure information will start to trickle out in some way, shape, or form. But, you know, do I think that Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know, willingly participated in the trafficking of women and, you know, forcing women to do these things? No, I don't. Do I think that maybe it was possibly a setup? Of course. Do I think that maybe there was a misunderstanding or he was kind of forced into this situation, maybe, because that stuff does happen. It's called extortion. That could possibly be what is going on as well. So it's all very weird. It's all very suspicious. Do I think that Jean-Claude Van Damme is this evil person? No. If Steven Seagal was accused of it, I'm sure that part's true, because he's a fucking wackadoo. But do I think Van Damme was involved in this and forced women to do these things? No, I don't. I think he was either set up, or it was an attempted extortion and then he was set up, or it's got to be something under the surface there, so to speak. So I don't know, again, because number one, I wasn't there. Number two, there's not really a whole lot of information. It's just kind of what I went through, kind of what's been reported. I know TMZ broke the story, so you have to take that with the absolute smallest grain of salt, because it's fucking TMZ, so there you go. But for some reason, they have a weird obsession with Van Damme. I don't know why, but they've always covered Van Damme and interview him coming out of a gym or a restaurant or whatever for some reason. I don't know why, but oh well. But we will see what happens. We will see, I'm sure, in the coming weeks and days and weeks, information will start to come out, and we'll see what really went on. Or maybe we won't. Maybe it'll just get swept under the rug, or it'll go away and people will forget about it and move on to the next thing that they want to get upset about, because you guys know more than I do how the world really works. So there you go. But anyway, thank you, Zach, for inviting me on once again. I hope everybody takes care of themselves, most importantly, and we'll talk to you all real soon. Later.